So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, well, we're going to start with my blog, and I'm going to talk a little bit through my content strategy and a piece of content that I'm planning on publishing. And then I'll show you in WordPress how I might start the process of creating that content, how I would do the keyword research to figure out what terms and phrases to target, and then publish and amplify to folks. So here we are on my blog. You can see I've written some posts about SEO in the past, and of course I'm, as the founder of Moz, I write about a lot of things around web marketing and internet traffic and all that kind of stuff. So what's going to happen here is I've been brainstorming for a while on wanting to help specifically consultants and agencies. Now, consultants and agencies have a lot of questions around whether what they're doing is normal, abnormal, weird. So what I did is I thought, you know what, I think I can help these people. Since I know a lot of them, I put together a survey. So here's SurveyMonkey, which is where I built the survey, and you can see that I've asked a lot of questions, and I have a few hundred respondents, right? So I've asked people, which of the following services do you offer, and how many full-time employees work at your agency, when was it founded, what do you expect revenue to be and revenue growth? So all these great questions. And from there, what I hope to build is some benchmarking, right? Give these consultants and agencies the ability to benchmark themselves. Now, I've got the content strategy, I have my idea, I've done some of the execution work, I've even got these respondents, which is great. Now I need to do my keyword research. I've got to figure out what is it that people are searching for where I want this content to come up. So we're going to start with Google's Keyword Planner. This is Google AdWords Keyword Planner. If you search for Google Keyword Tool or Keyword Planner, you'll find it. I'm in my AdWords account, and Moz obviously does pay for a lot of traffic from Google, but you don't have to pay them anything. It's free to set up an account and free to start using this tool. So let's go in here and we'll search for new keywords using a phrase, web sorted category. So I'm going to search for SEO agency pricing, SEO consultant rates, SEO consulting services, brainstorm a few more here. How about let's do SEO agency growth rates. Sometimes you want to apply these filters, right? So the targeting can be all locations, all languages, Google, or I can choose to include or exclude other properties that they control. I could include some negative keywords if I wanted to exclude searches that included something. But I'm going to leave this pretty basic for now and click Get Ideas, and then we can refine further from there. So what Google will do here is they're going to go through their database of keywords, and they're going to show me a bunch of information. Now, here's what I'm seeing. They're suggesting that I go with these broad group ideas. This is if I were going to actually bid. Since I'm not bidding on these, I want to see the individual keywords because I'm trying to get my keyword targets for my content. So I'm going to click this Keyword Ideas tab right there. And now they're going to load me up with all sorts of things. So some things to pay attention to in here. See these average monthly search numbers, 390 for SEO consulting services, 90 for SEO consultant rates. Those searches, you can pay relative attention to them, but don't trust them to provide you with exact data. So it is not going to be the case that 390 people precisely searched for SEO consulting services last month. I think this is data from this is data from October, right? So in October, it's not true that 390 people searched for it. It is probably true that between 3 and 4 times as many people searched for SEO consulting services as searched for SEO consultant rates, which Google gives me a count of 90 average monthly searches for. And that's probably about 10 to 20x what people search for SEO agency pricing. So I think it's fine to take away relative numbers from this, but very dangerous if you get into this world where you think, oh, that's exactly how many people searched for it. Don't make your predictions off that. Don't tell a client or your manager or your team, hey, I know exactly how many clicks we could get if we rank number 1 for this. You don't. These numbers can vary pretty widely to what actual searches look like. That being said, what I'm trying to do here is get suggestions, and so I want to find something with relatively high average monthly searches. I don't, by the way, need to worry about competition or suggested bid here because I'm not competing in the paid search results. I'm competing in the organic search results, and Google's showing me paid search results here. These don't map one-to-one. A high suggested bid and high competition in AdWords doesn't necessarily mean that the organic competition will be high. I'll show you a method to get at difficulty in a sec here. So let's look through. We're not really offering consulting services. We're really serving the agencies. So I feel like words that include rates and words that include pricing are really our sweet spot here. So let's take a look. Consultant rates and pricing. I think that's what we're going to stick with. Let's go play around with this a little bit. What we're going to do is go to Google itself, and now we're going to go to settings in Google, click on our search settings, and say never show instant results. See that radio box there? We want that so that when we start searching, Google will show me all sorts of suggestions. So there we go. Fees, rates, those are really good. Pricing. You can see that I'm getting different results when I'm using Google Suggest here than when I used Google Analytics. That is exactly what I'm looking for. I want different, unique ideas that Google's suggesting to me. And Google Suggest and related searches, which I'll show you in a sec here, related searches, which are down at the bottom, searches related to SEO consulting pricing, those two sources often don't map to Google AdWords, but I can take, so we saw SEO consulting fees, we didn't see that back in Keyword Planner. I can take that and plug it in here, and then Google will actually give me the volume for it. So you can see they have volume for it, they just weren't suggesting it to me as a term. This is why we have to broaden our keyword research beyond just AdWords itself. Okay, so let's say we've got our ideas. Let's just go ahead and say SEO consulting services, pricing, and fees is what we're going to chase after. So we're going to go to my blog, go to posts, and add a new one. And I am going to call this, look, this is not the most exciting title in the world, but I feel like it's going to be very compelling for people who are searching for this type of data. So in here, I'd go to SurveyMonkey, I'm going to take my responses, and look, I've got my results, and I've got a ton of beautiful data in here that I can take directly from SurveyMonkey and paste in there. So, all sorts of cool stuff like the services they offer and these very nice graphs that can be embedded, or I could play around with Photoshop and maybe make them even prettier, put them into my post, and publish that post. There's a few things that I would urge you to think about here. Remember that I can enter a meta description. This is the plugin from Yoast. It's very popular for WordPress. Many people use it. Whatever content management system you're using is going to have a meta description. And so this text in here for this meta description is critical. It's going to convince people to click on my link. This is where I might put 300, consultants and agencies participated, and then I'd create this this content in here. I'd write it beautifully, of course, and I'd throw in all my lovely charts and graphs, and then I'd hit publish, and I've got my page that I can now amplify to folks. Now, one of the things that is beautiful about the process I've got here is I have my answer to the question, who will help amplify this and why, right away. The people who filled in the survey. I asked them, it was optional, but I asked for email addresses, and I got a few hundred. I'll not show those as to protect those folks' privacy, but I've got 300 email addresses. Now I can reach out to them and say, hey, that survey you participated in, thanks so much. Here you can benchmark your data, and I'd love if you help me share it by tweeting it or writing about it, or here's some embed code so you can put stuff on your blog if you'd like. This is great. I've got kind of my full strategy from the content to the keywords to the amplifiers and the influencers and how I'm going to reach people. And I would feel pretty confident that in a few weeks after publishing this, I could rank on page 1 for these key terms around SEO pricing, consultant rates, benchmarking, all that stuff. That's very cool. So now I want you to try it. I want you to come up with a content strategy, brainstorm some ideas, do a bit of keyword research, at least through AdWords and Google Suggest, come up with a title and a description, write your content, create what you're going to create, publish it to the web, and try and earn that amplification through influencers. And of course, I urge you to chat with each other, make suggestions, and get interactive.